Finally, it is here. This week's chapter just dropped, and in short we have Deku is fighting civilians now. Principal Nezu likes to spend money. UA is a moving castle. And finally uraraka will fight for Deku. All of this and more after the intro. It's me again. And welcome back to another My Hero Academia video, the show where every character is the main character. This is My Hero Academia chapter 323 review. The chapter begins with a flashback of the students at the principal's office just before they went after Deku. Iida remembers the principal's words about showing everyone how effective the UA barrier is, but he thinks that if they can bring Midoriya back peacefully, that will be enough to calm the civilians. Nezu disagrees, saying that it's not enough. Deku is currently the hero's trump card, so protecting him without proper security measures would be risky. After Tartarus was invaded, Nezu made some improvements to the school security system. Now the UA barrier is not only a barrier, it makes UA move. The campus has been divided into several smaller areas, and all of them are connected to engine transportation devices. As soon as any sign of invasion is detected, all these areas will be transported to an underground shelter, and from there they can take various routes all across Japan. Kaminari says that this sounds like something straight out of a Robot 9, and Nezu goes on to explain it furthermore. The underground of the whole area surrounding UA has been covered with 3,000 layers of fortified metal plates. Any abnormality detected in at least one of them will activate the security system and the transportation devices. In addition, the plates also serve to delay any villains trying to attack, giving students and civilians time to get to the underground shelter. Other hero schools have also reinforced their security systems and are connected by these underground routes. Like Shiketsu Tokoyami comments that this whole deal with the metal plate seems too specifically made to deal with Shigaraki's decay, and asks why the principal had already started to plan this plan back at the culture festival. He jokes that he likes to spend money, but then explains that he is very cautious. Even these small steps, that may seem illogical at first, can be essential for walking down difficult paths. Cut back to the present, with the civilians refusing to let Deku in. Deku's mother, Bakugo's mother, Jiru's parents, Eri in the dorms with Class B, and Kauda with Mandalay are shown, all of them very concerned. Number 13 comments that some people were convinced by Nezu's speech, but most of them weren't. Genist interrupts Mix shouting and starts talking to the civilians, explaining that they tried to use Deku to attract the villains, and it didn't work. He says that even though Deku is Shigaraki's target, he is also the hero's greatest weapon. He understands that this is not the ideal situation, but says it's the best they can do and asks them to let Midoriya come in. The civilians seem to get even angrier, saying that the country is only in such chaos because the heroes have failed, and now, because they failed again, they want to force the civilians to take this risk. But while they're yelling, uraraka takes Mix's megaphone, uses her quirk on herself and float over the protesters, going straight to the UA's rooftops. Uraraka begins her speech by saying that Deku does indeed have a special power. The civilians respond by saying that this is exactly why he can't stay in UA, but uraraka says that Deku himself thought this way. He tried to walk away so desperately that all of them had to take him back. She continues, asking the civilians to take a good look at how Deku looks after taking all this burden by himself and leaving. There are some panels emphasizing his claw-like hands and feet, and some civilians gasping as they look at him. Uraraka says that Deku is the one who wants to do something to change the current state of things the most, and that he kept moving for other people's sake, even though he knew he could be attacked at any moment. At this moment, the giant woman Deku saved in chapter 310 appears and recognizes him. Uraraka continues her speech, saying that having a special power doesn't make Deku special. Bakugo then appears on Deku's side, saying T-Hat civilians desperately rioting even while ignoring the security system is an example of what he told him last chapter, of something Deku himself can't handle by himself and needs to leave it to them. It cuts to an internal monologue from Nezu, acknowledging that taking the first step is always hard. However, he thinks that this step in specific will lead to the birth of a hero who surpasses even All Might. End of chapter. The last panel is uraraka screaming in the rain.
押しますよ、ナンバーワン。誰より強くなりたかった。